Welcome to this new episode of Off to the 7,000 Islands, and today we have another little travel update. The Philippines changed their regulations of who can enter the country, how. Basically, that's what we're gonna look into: who needs to have a vaccine, who needs to have a mask, and all those kind of stuff. One Health, Traze App, S-Pass, and mask regulations coming up. How do I find that all out? Of course, all the links down below. I have always links where I got the things from. Please always trust official sources, not the YouTube videos. Don't rely just on that. But I point you to really good websites and all these things. So I hope this video will be really helpful. Okay, number one, the Philippines have changed their rules about traveling to the Philippines in regard to people who are fully vaccinated and boosters. And they have two advantages now. They can enter the country without having a test before they enter the country, and they don't need the mandatory health insurance anymore, who covers corona as well. So that's the kind of thing. That's quite a big improvement, I think, because many people who are traveling, for example, from the US, where most of the people travel to the Philippines, probably have that booster by now. And I just telling you the rules. I don't make the rules, so please, that's not the place to discuss if you should have a vaccine or not. Down below in the comments, please don't write that, and usually YouTube deletes us as well. But then who can also skip the test and the insurance? Well, people who are between 12 and 17 and are fully vaccinated but not yet boosted. That's quite cool. And 12 years and younger children who are traveling with their parents, or one parent, when their parents are fully vaccinated and boosted. That's quite cool. So as a family, I think that got now easier than before. All right, for the rest is still, if you're fully vaccinated but not boosted, you still need to do the test and the insurance. But yes, let's continue on. Do you still need the One Health pass? And we have made a proper explanation about One Health and all those apps, which I just gonna explain in another video. You will find the link down below as well. It's an older video, please watch that as well. We have made a whole playlist about traveling to the Philippines. Yes, you still need the One Health pass if you travel to the Philippines. It doesn't seem to be get checked every time anymore in the Philippines, but of course, if you start from the US or from Germany or wherever, they're probably gonna check that, and so register that before. Sometimes the site is a bit slow or offline, or just try it a few times. If it doesn't work the first time, try it a few hours later again. If you need an address in the Philippines, well, just put down your hotel address or the place where you're gonna stay with a friend, or whatever you're gonna do. You kind of need the address, and often they don't accept in those apps and websites the foreign addresses anymore, which I found a bit funny. They used to do that, but just try that. Anyways, that was the One Health pass. Yes, you still need that. Do you still need the Traze app? Yes, in every airport you technically still need the Traze app. Although some of the tourists who've been our guests told us they didn't got asked for the Trace app. But better to make sure you have it, especially some of the airlines are super strict when they fly here. They don't want to get into trouble to bring someone here who's then not allowed to enter, because they need to take them back. That's why they're often very strict. So don't blame them either. They don't make the rules as well. After the Trace app, only one more thing to say about the sort of national requirements, and then the S-Pass as our last point. And this is the mask mandate. If you're from Europe, or I think in the US, yes, in the US as well, they scrapped the mask mandate. But in the Philippines, there is still the mask mandate in place. So often when you fly here, you can fly up to here without the mask, but you need to wear a mask in the airport. But when you're out of the big city or you're in your tourist place, just look around you and check, do people wear masks? Or if everyone wears a mask, I would probably wear a mask too. But often not everyone wears a mask. It's more of a relaxing thing because in most places in the Philippines the numbers are not very high. So of course I need to tell you here on YouTube, because otherwise YouTube thinks I'm really bad, that you should always abide to the law and the rules and you should wear your mask. But in our own experience, that's much more flexible when you're here. Okay, and the last one is the S-Pass. You need that when you travel around the country and from different region or provinces to another one. We just traveled half through the Philippines and we were never got checked because in all of those regions were alert level 1. You can just Google that, where is alert level 1, 2 or so, where you go, just Google the region. Like for example, I live in Oriental Mindoro, that's the province. So I put into Google what alert level is Oriental Mindoro, and then you will find it out. And you get usually a whole list of things which were what is what. So if alert level 1, it's super relaxed. You technically should still show your vaccine pass for some things, like in some of the malls they still check that, but for example here in the province I didn't got checked for a long time now for my vaccine. But have that with you. Even in Manila recently in IKEA they didn't check it, for example. So if you want to know how to do it and things, we have a video, so check that out down below. If you travel to regions where there's alert level 2 and higher, you technically need the S-Pass, especially if you travel like just you and some other tourists or just you and you can't really explain. We recently traveled to Occidental Mindoro, that's basically the other part of the island, which is a different province, and they had alert level 2 and then they were telling us, why do you don't have the S-Pass? We were explaining that we thought it was alert level 1 and they let us through with just showing the vaccine passport, but technically you need the S-Pass, they told us. With the mask, I don't know, that maybe gets scrapped, but 3 or 4 weeks ago the old president still said the Philippines are not ready to live without mask. What the new president does, I don't know. And we don't make the rules. The travel agencies and all the other things don't make rules. There's no travel restriction how many tourists can enter the countries, and that's that really. So we will see. At least the Philippines are a great travel destination, especially now where it's a bit cooler in the rain season. I can only recommend that. A little tip from me is actually rain season right now, so I would recommend one of those diffusers for anti-mosquito stuff, so they fly away. And we often sleep here without the windows closed, but just this one on and the mosquitoes go away. Other insects, not so much actually, but yeah. And sorry for the background noise, but here's in the neighborhood such an annoying dog. I don't know, he's barking all the time. But yeah, I can't do anything. If you found that video interesting and you like it, then give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, write them down below in the comments and I try to get to you back as soon as possible. And we see you in the next one.